So that was a thing. Greetings, geeks and geekerellas. It is me. I am back for Legacies, the penultimate. Last week I said this was the penultimate, that was the penultimate, but really it's this week. So spoiler alert, if you guys hadn't seen it, go watch it. It's really good. I am really loving this show. Then come back and tell me what you think in the comments down below. Landon has been kidnapped, and the show is basically split into two. One half is Landon and the mysterious agent dude, and then the other one is the twins Hope and Raph, and Aloric back at the school. So, Landon's story. Landon's story is just basically being told about, like, actually the story of his father and the story of Malivore and Triad. Because apparently a trio of a witch, a werewolf, and a vampire, they came together and created this golem to originally fight dragons. But then it started absorbing all types of supernatural creatures that weren't witches, vampires, or werewolves. So then the witches tried to, the original people who created Malivore tried to, like, undo what they did. But before they could, the humans that Malivore had saved teamed up with Malivore to stop them. And then time went on, and Malivore started to create kids. Kids that were sterile and couldn't procreate, but were immortal. And we find out that one of, if not his first kid, is the agent dude. And we also find out that Malivore is really Landon's father. So they're technically brothers. We find out that agent dude actually turned on Malivore and aligned with the descendants of the humans and a coven of dark witches to turn him into the puddle. But then the humans created a group named after the original group, Triad, to initially protect it so that no one uses it, but then absolute power corrupts absolutely, so they started to use it for their own selfish needs, and Agent Dude got disgusted by this, so he put himself into Malivore, but Malivore sped him out decades later, and then he found out about Landon, so he was like, Dad spit me out so that my purpose would be to become the protector of his child, his legacy. And so he wants Landon to help him bring back their father, destroy Triad, and all that. And Landon seems to be going on his side, but I'm pretty sure he told him the wrong target, because Landon Kirby doesn't just roll over like that and doesn't betray his family. Raph, Hope, twins, MG, Dr. Saltzman. And so that was his story. And speaking of Dr. Saltzman, let's just talk about Rick's story. Rick's story is he's trying to control the school, but he doesn't have Dorian, and he's just by himself. Well, he's got Emma, but Emma just mainly deals with their minds. But also, Emma realizes that things are getting crazy, and that it's going to take something drastic for Rick to apologize to Dorian and get Dorian back, because they need Dorian. Emma decides that she's going to take a sabbatical. Maybe long enough to film her role on Fear the Walking Dead. And then when her character dies, because most of the characters there do, she can just come back from her sabbatical after the bromance has been healed, because it's starting to heal, because he does go to Dorian and he apologizes, and Dorian comes back. And oh my god, Dorian is like the best. I wish we could all be as big a men as Dorian. But, anywho. The twins. Let's talk about the twins. The twins' story is the merge. And the fact that Josie's finally standing up for herself. Maybe being a little bit bitchy, but she kind of has the right to, after Lizzie has been a bitch to her for countless years. But, anywho, so after reading about what her dad wrote that Penelope had in the book, Jo goes and researches the merge. By the way, I love their library and their little category thing where you can just input the word that you want, and then magically the books that pertain to that subject will just pop out. That's awesome. So Josie uses these books to basically find out about the merge. Lizzie tries to, in her way, apologize with food and not actually saying it, because she said that that's how it's worked in the past, which at least she's starting to learn, because she was like, I was selfish. I'm always the selfish bitch in the relationship. She sulks for a while and then I give her pastries and it's good. So at least she's self-aware with that. But it looks like things are about to change, because she sees merge on the category, so Lizzie starts to research it, finds a book that Josie didn't have, which talks about the merge. And so she's intrigued about it. Jo knows about it. Lizzie is freaking out, like gonna go in a full-on, like, breakdown. But Hope talks her down. And Hope goes to confront Jo. And we find out, confirmed in the main timeline, Lizzie Saltzman takes medication. Thank you, Jeebus. She needs it. And we also find out, though, that since they went and visited their mom, you know, all of this year, she's been off her medication. First, she thought that just the bracelet from their mom would work, and then her embracing her inner bitch would work, and then focusing on the pageant would work. But Jo's basically like, she's having a meltdown, so just, it's best to ride it out, let her do it, and then things will be better. But Hope knows the name of the merge now, so she goes and contacts her aunt about it. And she finds out everything. And she basically says to Rick, you better tell them or I will. So Rick tells the twins about the merge. Everything's out about the merge. Except for maybe Uncle Kai, because I don't think that he brought that up. Which, by the way, your uncle killed your mom because of the Gemini curse. And that makes me think that maybe Uncle Monel is going to be the villain for season 2, which I am all for. But anywho, going on to Hope. Hope's was in exchange for helping Lizzie. Lizzie gave her a crystal where she could talk to like this hologram of Landon, get out like what she's supposed to, what she wants to say to him. Now she's supposed to say it, and she goes back and forth with Crystal Landon, and it's pretty cool because Crystal Landon is just charming as normal Landon. And in the end, Hope realizes some things. She realizes that she didn't tell Landon because she was trying to protect him, but also because she didn't want him to leave. And she also finds out that she loves Landon. And the first time that she says, "I love you," is the hologram version of Landon, which they make a nice joke about. And then, in one last thing, he's like, "You know I'm in trouble, right?" And so they listen back to the message and realize that Triad has Landon. So Hope's like, "I'm gonna go and do this whole big thing, get the crew together. Let's go do this." But before she can, 2 things happen. 1, Triad comes to her, comes to them, and comes to the school. And 2, before that happens, Wrath comes to her. Because he knows that she's leaving and he wants to go with her, and she's like, no. And they discuss what's been going on with him, because apparently he's been having side effects from this serum that Hope gave him. He's losing time. And he's like, wolf mind is taking over. And Hope's like, here's this ring, which I'm pretty sure was probably a reference to something in the originals, which I only watched like the first half of the first season, so excuse me if I don't know about it. But he gives it to her, she gives it to him and says, "This will help you because this will cause an instant change. It'll force a change. And maybe if you need it, you can activate it and it will clear your mind because you won't be thinking as much in the wolf mind. But you can't undo it. Only I can undo it." Which I got a feeling that that's going to hint that in the finale, he's going to put it on, leave, and then not come back until a couple episodes into season 2 with a new wolfy girlfriend that he met along the way.